Gearhead 327. I want to show you guys kind of an unconventional repair I've done on my 1995 Nissan D21 Hardbody pickup truck, and this is the Thermo amp or thermal control amp, and what it does is if it senses any ice in the evaporator coil, it turns the compressor off so you don't get a big block of ice in there, which could damage the housing or damage the evaporator. And the problem I was having is you'd get in the truck and turn the air conditioner on, and after a couple minutes it would stop working, and you know, if you had a 45-minute trip here in Florida, it would be a little bit unpleasant with no air conditioning. But then once you parked and the truck sat for a little while, it would start back up and that air would start working again, and then it would go out shortly after that. And the problem is this little guy right here, and you can see that's the original part that failed after 28 years. What a piece of crap. No, I'm just kidding, guys. 28 years, no problem. If anybody's interested, this is the part number. Now, guys, you're going to see an unconventional repair here. Now, I would do this for myself. If this was a customer's vehicle, and it needed this little part right here, then I would remove that evaporator right there. I'd remove the blower housing. I would well, of course, I'd recover the refrigerant, and then I would remove all that, and then I'd install this little guy exactly the way the factory did it, and I would charge the heck out of the customer. Okay, that's how I would do that for someone who wanted me to do this job for them. I'd do it right. But for me, you're going to see how I did it, and it works. Okay, so all right, let's get into it. Gearhead 327, and I have a son of a gun of an air conditioning problem right here. And what happens is the truck, it runs, the AC runs great for a little while, and then it shuts off. Like right as it starts cooling off, it shuts off. And the problem is this little Thermo amp right here. I can't tell you what a son of a gun this was. I don't know if you can see it, but it was right up in there, and I had to cut my stubby screwdriver off to even get at it. And if it hadn't been for that little thing with a short little Phillips on there, I'd probably still be messing around with it. But you can see, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I don't know if you can see that or not, but this little thing right there, that little thing right there is in the coil, and it's zip tied in there, and it goes up around the back. And I think really the way to do this is you probably have to remove the evaporator coil and remove this whole assembly, and I'm not doing that. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna do it my way. If y'all don't like it, well, whatever. If y'all want to remove all that and take care of it, that's your business. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. And ooh, I need to clean that coil right there. That after 28 years, it's never been cleaned. I think it's about time. All right, let's see what we're going to do. All right, guys, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but I've got the thing just shoved in the coil right there. It's kind of hard to get the camera in there and get y'all to see it, but I shoved that little end piece right in there. I guess that's the thermocouple or whatever measures the temperature. And what I'm going to do, it's going to be kind of hard to do this with one hand, is I'm going to zip tie it. And I know it's a little further back, I say like about maybe 4 inches toward the front of the vehicle on the evaporator. But I think that's going to work. If any ice forms, and it'll shut it off right there. So I'm willing to take that gamble, as opposed to removing all the Freon, removing all this crap right here, and then just sticking that thing in there and cutting the tie wrap out and risking poking a hole in the evaporator. So anyway, guys, that's how I'm doing it. So let me get this finished up here. Okay, y'all can see how that goes right into the evaporator right there, and I've got it zip tied, so hopefully it does not come apart or pull out of there, which I don't think it's going to. And that right there needs to be mounted. I can either mount it back up there, or I might put it someplace else. So 28 years from now, I don't know if y'all can see that. this truck was made in 1995. I bought it in August of 95, by the way. So, but anyway, that has got to go in there, and then these little clips, they go in here. I'm gonna have to use both hands, but anyway, this thing clips together, so that's what they are. All right, I got that one started. We should be able to get the rest of them here. And then this one. And there we go. And I had unbolted this. I don't know if you probably can't see it in there, but there's some bolts down here trying to take this out. But you got to take the evaporator out to get to it. So I need to clean this. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it. Let's get a better look at it. I don't know if y'all can see how nasty that is. 28 years of air. That needs to be cleaned. I can't let that go. Okay guys, I've got some coil cleaner right here. Now this is a mild no rinse kind, which I highly recommend you rinse it off, because you don't want to take any chances with that stuff eating the aluminum or the coils out. Then you have to replace your evaporator coil. This one is, I guess, a step up, and this one is, I might hit it with that too, just to get any odors or anything out of there. But I will definitely be rinsing both of them with nice clean water. And this is going to be the delivery method that I'm going to be using. This is just a garden sprayer right here, and we've pumped it up. And being that evaporator coil is so nasty, as you just saw, I'm going to be putting that stuff on there straight. Now I don't usually do it straight. Normally what I'll do is maybe 50-50, maybe 75-25, or maybe 80-20, something like that, if it just needs a mild cleaning. But that one has never been cleaned in the 28 years I've owned the truck, and I did buy it brand new in 1995. So, but this garden sprayer is pretty cheap, and you want the one that has the little, it just fires a spray out, not a fan. You don't want that. You want just a nice little spray that you can concentrate and get that thing cleaned out. So let's get it cleaned. And we got that pressurized, and I don't know how well y'all can see this or not, but see, it needs to be adjusted. Alright, we adjusted the nozzle. That's what you want right there. Like a nice little powerful beam. We'll get all up in there, and you get that stuff cleaned off. And I may have to do this a couple times. Rinse it with water. Get down in there. Alright guys, anyway, you got the idea. Let me do this a couple times, and then we'll get some, if I don't use all of that, I'm going to put it back in the bottle, and I need to fill this up with clean water. And you can also use hot water. I mean, not boiling hot water, but warm water will help clean that thing off too. So, alright, before you mount this thing in that little hole up there, this has got to plug into it. So I got that zip tied right there. I don't know if that's going to interfere with the glove box. I need to put this back in. That foam that was there kind of rotted away a little bit. It kind of was blowing out. You could feel it blowing out over here. What I used was just some of this foil tape, and that sealed that up very nicely. No air leaks. So just a tip, you can get a roll of this for cheap. Well, we got some cold air. We are cooling, and what I really need to do is drive across town, because what would happen, like I said before, is you would get in the vehicle and everything is wonderful, and then it would just stop and start blowing hot air, and then when you got to your destination, 45 minutes from there or whatever, you'd park it, you come back out, it would start up, you'd get some cool air, and then it would stop again. So, but the culprit is that right there, that Thermo control amp. Now I did kind of a unconventional repair on here. I didn't do it the way the factory did it, but I don't know, whoever did that at the factory was a real jerk. I guess they had more access than I have. But okay, we're cooling. Gearhead 327 out.